Good morning, everybody. Today is Wednesday. You can see the light coming in. It is darkish because of a storm rolling through. I'm not sure if it started at like 5, 6. What time is it? It's 7:33, so 6 something. I remember. It looks really pretty. I'm trying to take a picture of it with the rain, the gray street, puddles forming everywhere, and the green from the trees reflecting, which I feel like is not noticeable with the color on the computer camera. So this is white after Memorial Day, so I don't have a playlist for that, but I have a bunch of white clothing that I have not been wearing because I was wanting to change my after Memorial Day since the white after Labor Day became a defiant title category based on my mom and her I guess sticking to the fashion norms of the day of not wearing um, white between Memorial Day and Labor Day, Labor Day and Memorial Day, so the winter months, and that'd be clothing, purses, shoes, and probably belts. I feel like people people still do match their belts with their shoes and their purses, and I have a history of telling people how particular my mom and my dad, but my mom would be, and I would have to be head to toe done up to go outside the house, and having call it, I feel like in the olden days people dressed up, didn't matter if you're rich or poor, cotton clothing, button up shirts for men, button up, button down, blazers, ties, maybe slacks, iron and pressed, starched, shined shoes, matching belts, and I say hats already. And then women having dresses on for many, many years that go past the knees, pantyhose, and purses, and clean shoes, particularly heels. And like I had some of my grandma's polyester pantsuits, so it's still like a suit, but it's pants. And all that stuff got left behind. And I'm kind of sad that I'm missing this history from my family. But when I left my ex, I was brought up that way in the 70s and 80s, going out to church, having my hair done up for holidays, having it regularly braided on a regular day, and then having the I can remember the hot comb. So like straightened with hot comb and then rolled up for Easter and holidays or whatever. I think it was mostly Easter Sunday. I don't even think my mom went to church with me. I think she just dropped me and my brother off, and then now if he had Sunday school, like we got dropped off together. I think they had adult Sunday school. My brother's 8 years older than me, so if I was like 8, he would have been like 16. If I was like 6, he would have been like, what? I don't think 14 already. Really? It's crazy. What was the other thing? The piano recitals. I would be really dressed up. My parents were educated, and my whole family is educated, and everybody owned homes and had a decent or pretty good income, and still does, except for me. I don't know what's wrong with me, except for disabilities. Um, Everybody in my family is extremely educated, and I don't know about my brother. I know he went to school, but I don't know. He is doing well in his businesses and stuff, and with his relationship, they do have a house that is that the rain that at least his partner owns. That sounds like the rain. I have um, unfortunately, graduate degrees just 1 degree. 1 degree and 1 certificate. I was going to get 2 degrees, 2 medical school degrees, and a certificate, but the registrar, the people who sign you up for classes, are like, no, it's impossible for you to do this. And this other program was going to be. Is that the rain coming down? Oh my gosh. I told my partner it was going to storm. We were all achy yesterday. The whole road looks all flooded, but it's not. It's just that in front of this parking lot. There's an incline, so the water comes down. I think it looks so pretty, guys. Let's see if I can keep this open. I don't have like any regular curtains and stuff in here. We replaced these blinds too. Because I don't even know what was there before. They're in the trash. In the landfill, I guess. I can hear it coming down, y'all. I watched Somewhere Sinister this morning, whatever came out today, and it was where I fell asleep within like 30 seconds, and then I woke up like an hour later or whatever, it was over, when they're like, okay, goodbye, whatever. It woke me up. My knee is really hurting me, guys. Sorry, I'm like trying to shift my weight. This video was about, I'm sorry I don't know the title, it was about the camps for the Japanese during World War II due to the fear of Japanese. And somebody made a comment about Japanese Americans and African Americans and retributions, and how the Japanese didn't complain and sent their kids to school and got careers, and it really hurt my feelings. There was more than one comment, and it was basically saying that the Japanese, to other people are saying, oh, Japanese were so quiet, they didn't say anything, they don't complain, this and this about racism and all that. Well, here's the thing. As an African American and as a descendant in African countries, particularly where my skin is dark, there's been systemic racism towards blacks indefinitely since the beginning of time. There still continues to be systemic racism globally. And, there's a space program out there, even outside of our Earth. And the Japanese Americans immigrated here. A lot of the people in the camps were born, I don't know the stats. They were born, they very well could have been born. If not, their kids were born here. As an African American that ancestors brought over during the slave trade, I did not choose to come here. I did not choose. If I go outside this door, I'm in the South. It is really flooding out. I hope my partner brought his raincoat because it is crazy flood. Hold on. Oh my god, what's that like? The street looks pretty flooded. One of these businesses, the one right next door, flooded last year. We've had some serious rain, and I didn't hear anything about it flooding. Let me see if I can get you guys a picture. It's hard with this blind. Let me pull up the blind. Maybe he'll come home early. It's like you can't tell if the street is actually flooding or if it's just like the puddle goes away when the rain stops, kind of thing. He's like, oh, rushing it down the hill. It's like a slight incline, or like at 0 feet above sea level. It's hard to see pictures. It's like impossible to see. So I was trying to get this kind of river of water, and it just in the picture, it just pretty much looks like, oh yeah, it's because the screen is in there. It looks like just a wet road, but there's about a gap like this where I have to go around when we're getting to the parking lot because it fills up with water. Oh, sorry, you can't tell. So with the knee and the leg injury and the ankle injury, I try to go toward the side. Right now, it's like, looks like a couple of yards. I think I don't think it's going to rain enough. I think it'll disappear when the rain stops. I don't think the street will flood out and have a closed road. Anyways, and I'm glad that my partner's driving a truck too, though. If I go out and walk or drive, like where we used to live. Was about 3 miles away from here. Everywhere you go, you see the plantations, the plantation houses with the pillars, the white pillars. You see that, and you'll see a straight street going to these big houses on the waterfront, and you'll see right through the houses, 2-3 stories. You'll see from the road and the forest side, from the tree side, right through their house, you see the waterfront, the river. And on the edges, you'll see a whole row of old growth trees. And you see a bunch of houses that don't have the same trees. In their yard will be like 3-4 acres of just grass. So my mind sees two things. Slaves working in the fields there and bringing home all the stuff. Home, it's not home. Bringing to their master all the stuff. Enslaved people bringing home, whether it were cotton, tobacco, whatever, corn, I don't even know. Presenting that so that they're not whipped and beaten and punished more than already being enslaved is punishment enough. But ultra punished, that person sells this stuff, sits back, brings out their record book, writes how much money they have, buys more properties, buys and sells, buy their kids horses, send their kids to private schools, get dressed, have their spouse, their wife going to get the best fabrics from town and the best seamstress to sew her dresses so they can show up in church and all spiffy and clean while the enslaved people are in these shacks. So it's clear cut, these big white houses on the waterfront. We were shackled and forced to work here for since the 1600s, and then booted out into society, into a severely racist society. Even in the North, was I born in a northern state? I was born somewhere in the middle, but I was Virginia with racism. I grew up in Michigan, racism. I raised my kids in Oregon, extreme racism. I'm back in the South and in the Northeast, or the what do you call it? Middle Eastern states. Racism. I walk down the street, people look at me. You're the problem with the world. Like, they could be walking and they're just like, and I'm just like this, and I look over because I see their eyes, or they are on the sidewalk and they don't see that there's other people. Like, people walk and take up the whole sidewalk. They're not obese, they just don't have any care that this is a shared street. Will that happen in a crowded city in New York City, in Manhattan, when people just take up the whole sidewalk? Like, I'm tired of walking into the street to get away from people. Anyways, they might see my partner and they'll just be like, they'll have this kind of face, and I'll peek around to catch back up with him. Because I have the habit of, oh, there's people coming. I get behind my partner so that people can get by. Or because they're so oblivious in their own world, they'll smack right into me. And they'll be like, that black lady hurt me. They'll be like, rolling on the ground, 911, she assaulted me. Like, I have fears every time. Like, all I did in this instance, go check the mail. And all I do in other instances is walk down the street for exercise, or to check the mail, or to go to the car because it's over there. Right now, it's 2-3 blocks away, and woo, lightning. Oh, that's supposed to be on a computer. That's supposed to be close to the window. Oh my god, that was close. The street is like flooded. Let's see if anyone reports anything on the Facebook group. I don't think they're gonna have any washouts or anything. Anyways, I got offended by these posts, and every day I read posts. Why is this so tight all of a sudden? It's like I'm normally tight. This one's like too loose, and this one is barely, it feels like I'm gonna break them. Ooh, that looks a lot worse with the reflection. Okay, that one was Somewhere Sinister's YouTube channel. Gila River Relocation Center. Let's see if there's any weather alerts or private citizen alerts. So I just had about 2 months ago, I had a group that had a reading about when people give you dirty looks outside, you're pretty much selfish and egotistical, thinking that it's all about you. And I was like, I have a different perspective on life when I go into a store and strangers come up to me and make rude comments about me and my kids, when cashiers refuse to sell me food that they think is for rich people, and when they make all these comments. I've been chased down before and been told, hey, you shouldn't eat. You got the wrong pizza. You're a vegetarian. I watch you every day in the store. You're never eating meat and you got a pepperoni pizza. I was like, I'm not a vegetarian. Back then I wasn't, especially my little kids. I was like, if I want to get my nutrients from vegetables, I'm going to not force my kids to, because they need the full diet. You know what I mean? They were already underweight. So it was really interesting. That one may not have been as insulting, but it was definitely startling to think that I was being watched and monitored through a store, um, by someone that I didn't even recognize their face. It's not another thing if they come up and wave and say hello to you, or you recognize them from the chat stand. Cars are just going by pretty good. I don't want to be too close to the window. I got people coming up to me. I got people walking down the sidewalk, and they'll see white couples, and they'll see white couples, young and old, people with babies, and they'll be smiling and they'll be nodding. And then they get to me and my boyfriend, and they're like, because we're an interracial couple, and I mean, my DNA test shows that I'm at least 1/5 Caucasian. So it's like, and don't even start with my kids, because that would put them at who knows how much white. Native, supposed to be Native American. I thought I was part Native, and it didn't pop up. But there's a lot of Native Americans that did not submit DNA for this test. My heritage, I don't know. I didn't do the other one, 23andMe, or what's the other one? Ancestry. I don't see anything here. There's be the Gossip Mag. I'm worried, actually. I've never seen it that bad, but I don't necessarily stand here and watch the rain come down like this. I feel like the cars are driving in the middle of the street. Like, oh, maybe because the street is so narrow. I forgot that this is like, these are all like horse-drawn carriage roads. There's still a horse-drawn carriage out here. I look at those people like, oh, the wine tour around town. I was late for an appointment, and I was like, I think was I going out of town? I was like, oh, I'm not kidding. I don't think I was late. I might have been just on time. I'm like, I'm not trying to lie, but we were literally stuck behind a horse in a carriage that was going super slow. There's nowhere to pass. And if you get to a light behind them at a traffic signal, be prepared to wait for a couple rounds of lights. But yeah, I get offended. I read these comments. I understand that there's people that think this way, and I look at him as I think, are you torturing yourself, Mia? Why are my glasses like this, first of all? Why are you reading this junk? And why do you let it affect you? Part of it is, I want to know what some people are thinking. I want to know who backs them up and says, bravo, bravo. I want to know who gives their side of the story. Somebody had talked about there was only like 25 comments. Someone had discussed that they were Asian Americans, and that their culture is saying. And I've heard this before. Everybody's different. You can't lump everyone in the same group. Oh, it's the keeping quiet and doing the best to fit in and doing the best to not to complain, so that you aren't looked at like an outsider. If you can walk up and down the street and see someone wearing sunglasses, that have light skin, they have long straight hair or short hair, any color, because it can be dyed, and you're going to be in a crowd, or you're going to be at the concert in the street. If you're Asian or Latino or white, you kind of blend in. Middle Eastern, all these different things. Jewish, you're going to blend in. If you're black, you're black. Period. You're not going to blend in if you're wearing long sleeves and gloves and the only thing sticking out is your little face, like I do in the wintertime. People startle because they can't tell. But their body makes a judgment when I go out with my black skin in the summertime all tan. They're like, I'm not tanned enough. The sun is intense and the UV index, you guys. Seriously, today, no, it's raining. Who cares? Find the sunscreen. Find the sunscreen. Put it in each vehicle. I'm tempted to go do a Target pickup order just to make sure we're not contributing, because both of us grew up on the water and played in the summer sun and on our properties, me and my partner. And I got suspicious moles popping out. Guys, my mom had some removed, and she's not here to tell me were they cancerous or not, like melanomas. Her skin was very white. She was a black person, but ginger, white skin, tanned white skin with freckles. And I have freckles too, you can't tell. I have freckles like my mom. Look at the bags under my eyes. I have freckles, guys. You can see it on my nose a little bit. But because my skin is darker, my partner didn't even notice. I asked him, like, after we were together like 3 years. He hadn't noticed. My daughter and my son's out of the sun, I think, more. My daughter's very freckled. Very much. You can't see it in my mom's pictures either, but so we're gingers. Burning, sunburns, burning, blistering, red, puffy, sunburn, especially my son, whose skin is, like, both of them now, our skin is like my shirt. That's a whole nother round of dirty looks. It was particularly white women. White men would make a lot of rude comments. White women and black people, black women would make rude comments. And these were all individuals. Could you imagine being a single mom, being homeless, trying to find a job for 3 years after the job you had when you left your ex, you fled your ex into a domestic violence shelter? He was friends with the person that was coordinating my job and my paychecks, who needed my current address. I had a restraining order. I didn't feel comfortable fleeing for my life and keeping my kids safe with that kind of closeness. And it was a fact, my DHS worker that's like, dude, this is not safe. You need to quit. Like, we're going to give you services. We're going to put you in a program. We're going to give you $400 a month temporarily to get in and out of these shelters and get you into a DV program where it'll pay. These shelters cost money, guys. All but the first one. They cost money. The transitional housing costs money. The grant was like $2,000, I think, but you pay for the first of the last month's rent, security deposit, and then whatever is left over. Like, for instance, we didn't have any furniture, bedding, clothes, nothing. So we got pillows and comforters and some sheets with the rest of the money, which was all their pain in the behind, because the Target didn't want to do. They refused to do the payment to DHS. It's crazy. So I fled. I had a college degree, bachelor's science in agriculture and natural resource communications certificate from Charles Drew Enrichment Laboratory, and I had been at the time in the RISE program for environmental studies. So well-educated survivor of PTSD, undiagnosed ADHD, underdiagnosed developmental disabilities, and watching people hating on blacks because the news programs will target criminals. They will put the pictures of criminals. They will put the pictures of people out at night protesting because of police violence towards blacks. And then people want to make us look like bugs. Dark. Dirty. People are like, white. is right. You bleach your hair, you bleach your clothes, you make sure everything is sparkling, and bleach your teeth. It's like, if it's dark, it's bad and dirty. So there's a lot of police violence towards white folks too. There's a lot of criminal statistics against white folks. There's a lot of crime statistics, sorry, um, addressing who is on services like welfare. I don't know any of my relatives on both my mom and dad's side that were ever on any services. Not saying that they weren't on them, but I don't know of anyone on welfare. I don't know of anyone on Section 8. I don't know of anybody on food stamps. Most of my relatives stayed in black neighborhoods and went to schools. I'm the first generation under my dad who was able to go to a non-segregated school. And you're wondering why black folks struggled? I'm under 50. My earring's still stuck. I'm under 50 years old. What happened to this thing? I think this was stuck on my other video. Ugh. I don't know what happened. It's like, I feel like it's on sideways or something, the back. I'm under 50 years old. I went to school starting in the 90s. Under my dad, first generation, could go to a public college while black. Now, mind you, in the 70s, my mother went. I don't know when she started college. She became a teacher. She started college, but she grew up in the north, guys. And in the northern cities, my relatives all lived with only black neighbors. So whether you're going to say legal segregation was there or not, it was there. Whether it's legal or not. When my kids went to school, it was there. Where they live now, it's still black. Like, because we could not get any house outside of this housing program that cost way less rent. A bigger house. Oh, there we go. My gosh, that was freaking me out. I think I tore up my fingernails trying to do that. Less rent, bigger house, bigger yard, parking lots, garages, close to schools, parking lots. I meant close to the park. Way cheaper. Way cheaper than the welfare housing. You know, somebody is actually on welfare and they have the housing, it's cheap. But if you pay out of pocket, it's super expensive. They're going to milk it for what they can. So they're going to jack up the rent and hope that big families on Section 8 move in and are excited that they're paying nothing, or $300 or less per month, and charging the rest of us $2,000 plus per month for a shack, non-maintained. They're getting the money whether we pay it or not, whether we pay cash or not. They're getting a check, even if it's owned by the same people if it's owned by the housing authority, Home Forward, and they get the checks from them, they're giving themselves the money, taking it back. But the management company is not. I don't know where they get the money. They are not doing maintenance, which that in itself, between local places and that place, having so much hundreds of dollars on doing self-maintenance on stuff, it sucks. I mean, we're scrambling pennies trying to pay the rent, let alone have a refrigerator that works. It's supposed to be, by law, if it didn't work, we're not supposed to pay the rent. So, I don't know. I try to contact lawyers for that, for different things. So there could be complaints that I make on my channel because there's disparity, there's injustice. My profession is mainly white women, and my second profession is also mainly white women in this country. And when one of them are supposed to be addressed as doctor, or both of them for me because of my degree type, and you'll go to a conference and they'll say, oh, this is, Jane Doe. If it's a man, they'll say, oh, this is Dr. Doe, introducing you, patients talking to you. Like, why are you talking to me by my first name? Because I never addressed myself. If I addressed myself as my first name, I put a doctor in front of it, and I got used to that. I kind of slip up sometimes because I saw a lot of kids and I have a long last name, and so I try to make it easy by saying that. And some people will ask me, and I need to actually I need to be not a hypocrite and make sure I ask people their preferred names. So I'm actually needing to change my intake form today, and I'm not in the mood for it. It's the rain looks like it lightened up. The puddle is not as crazy. There must be some, yeah, there's some drainage, sewer drainage, storm drains out here. So this puddle is not as big. I get excited about inclement weather, even though it's a nightmare. People die. What is the remedy for stereotypical racism where they want to say all blacks are bad and uneducated and loitering? Well, somebody plants cannabis in their house, and now the father of your baby is in jail for 25 years. Or, hey, maybe they had a little bit in their pocket or something. Fine. It's legal almost everywhere. So, what did the white person get that same? They do statistics on who gets the longer sentences for these kind of minor crimes. Watching the same person from This Is someplace sinister. This Is Monsters will show a lot of what do you call them? Criminals, serial killers, going to jail for a couple years, getting out, repeating their criminal behavior, as in killing people, targeting and pretty much hunting, and that's like serial rapists. And that you see the, like, knock on wood, but we're safe, guys. Prayers. Let's pray for each other. The people that commit the mass shootings, it's predominantly white people in this country, and there's not a lot after the big news stories. There's not a lot. It's even as simple as you read a news article, you say, "Oh, male arrested for this crime." It's like, oh well, they didn't specify the race. Oftentimes they do more now. It's like, oh, that's a white person. You don't hear much about it. You don't see a picture. For a Latino, they're going to put the name, and they're going to put their name really long. It's like the white person, they don't even put the name. The Latino, they put their name, so you know that it's like a hyphenated last name. For the black person, they're going to put a picture, and they're going to pull that person out of bed. So we got like bed hair, bed head, stick it up, not having washed our face, and they get the worst mugshot. It goes all over the news. Nice big close up. Like, man, that's why we want our neighborhoods free of those people. Like, we don't want that. And it's not even. It's not even a conviction. That is just the, what you call it, the charges, or they're arrested on suspicion. They could totally. I have someone in my community that I've helped for years, and they had some super false allegations towards them, and it cost them thousands, and their reputation is ruined. A nightmare, a nightmare, a nightmare. And the victims clearly told the police and everyone, this is not the person. This is not him. The person ran away, or they hustled to their car when somebody started screaming or something, and somebody else tagged their license plate, and the victim said no, many, many times, but they still were in big trouble. They had to get a lawyer. Now, why would they run when they hear screaming? Well, because they were black. They're like, I don't want any part of whatever's going on. The victims clearly said this is not the person. Something crazy. God only knows. I wasn't there. Oh my God. garbage truck's about to run over. Oh my god, I thought they were about to run into my building there. So close. I don't know. Oh, we took our garbage out. Recycling got out. Okay. Whew, that scared me. Not used to looking out the window like that. Blessings for everybody. I wanted to break down and cry when I talked about the comments that people make about my race. Saying, oh, those people, those other people, they're quiet, they don't complain. Those other people also got retributions for this camps. And when I go outside and see plantation houses all over the place, I had somebody in the community that was close to my family for a while, and they're owning a lot of property with farmland, rental properties, lots of houses on the property. Like they can rent the houses out to people, make an income. And it was, oh, that thing just flashed red. That was weird. I usually don't see it. They have some really old fire alarms here. Smoke alarms. Something just flew out like a bat out of you know what. These people had plantation land that was passed down from generations. And they're still making money off of it. And because it's farmland, they're able to have a very low tax bill. And you talk about retributions. My relatives, my kin, my people made your family rich, and then we just got booted out. And when slavery ended and you sent us out to fend for ourselves, your relatives also got a stipend for the number of enslaved persons that they had lost, which they shouldn't have had in the first place. So that is the problem. You're putting us in these really bad neighborhoods, not able to work. My dad is well educated, but the pictures I see of him younger is as a servant. And I said this yesterday. My grandmother and my other grandmother, I don't even know the rest of the relatives, as servants. I work as a doctor, and I consider that like a service industry servant. I'm a servant to the person. Like any kind of job, I feel like you're going to do some servitude of doing work, except for maybe modeling. I don't know, but I am educated. I'm treated poorly. And what are you going to do? I wanted to share for the past 24 hours about doing your business, whether that's a business or whether that's you taking care of your health, whether you're pregnant and about to have a child or it's your first or ninth or whatever. What is your business? Busyness. What keeps you busy throughout your day and your week? Do you have a bunch of doctor's appointments? I went to the dentist. They wanted to do the surgery where they cut open my gums and put lasers and stuff in my... Oh. Like, it's one thing to do procedures, but to be cutting open my gums where you have to suture them up, I don't think I could deal with that. Y'all, I shouldn't, yeah. Speaking of health, you have your health until you don't, and then what do? It's harder to get it back. Not impossible. I want to talk about business and you putting what you need to do together. When I see African Americans saying in birth work, how is it that we get preceptors? How is it that we get a community? How is it that we're not being only assigned to do pro bono jobs when the other doulas or midwives or whoever are getting thousands and thousands of dollars for the same type of job? And someone saying, oh, I have that problem. And I saw a comment say, oh, I think it's because I'm natural. I have that problem with everyone, not just with non-black doulas. And I have been natural with my hair since the 90s. And my mom was appalled. She's like, you need to get your hair professionally done. Which I had it done the first time I had it in braids after having straighteners and perms. And she's like, ooh, you got to get it done. I never got it done since. But since she paid for that one braiding between summer between junior and senior year. And it's weird because I must have got my senior pictures right before, because my senior pictures still have the S curl. And so when I see a lot of videos of events and pictures of African American young ladies and older ladies with very, very long straight hair. My hair doesn't grow that way. It's none of my business whether you're wearing a wig or a weave. My one friend has pretty straightish hair when she straightens it, and she just like, oh, I didn't have my, but she goes, oh, my wig didn't need to be taken off. I was like, you've been wearing a wig, girl? It was like, she is like super beautiful, but like naturally, but she wants to be ultra, like beyond beautiful, and know it, like acts like she's not. That's her prerogative. She gets paid well. She gets her partner. She gets treated well because she's beautiful. It's not even about her actions, whether she's honest, whether she could be selling crack. I'm pretty sure she's not, but I mean, she's going to get away because of her beauty. She's mixed race. And so I don't have nails done. I've never ever in my life had my nails professionally done. My hair has not been done since I was a child, since I was 17 or 16 or 17. It's probably just turned 17. I haven't had any fitness trainer at a gym. I barely had a community, what you call it, clinic. I just call it community clinic. That's what I had in med school. I didn't have a community center gym pass. I had that, but I hadn't had any gym passes where I can go work on the elliptical. I did with a client before in the pool and the hot tub, the sauna. Oh, that sounds nice right now. It'd be a nice day to go to the gym, huh? My orthopedic person, I was like, I need to go to the gym. She's like, do you have a bike? I was like, she goes, you need to do is not walk. You need to ride a bike. I was like, I don't have a bike. And I was like, what about swimming? She's like, hold off on that. Like, I was like, we were going to get a pass for the YMCA. Like, hold off on that. Hold off. I need to exercise. Dude, since I got injured, I've gained like 30 pounds, I feel like. 175. I weighed myself at 195 or something the other day. So I gained at least 20 pounds, 25 pounds since I injured my leg. And I'm aching so bad today. So bad, guys. Sucks. This is the end of this video. Oh shoot, what happened? Ooh, you guys disappeared. I thought it just vanished. And make sure. Sometimes if it shuts itself off, I lose the whole video. I might make a second video, but I'm going to go get my tea. I feel pretty bad. This person doesn't like me. This guy kind of waves. Or he just stares at us. This business owner, this man, he waves at us. His stuff that he sells, I don't know, it's shady. These people, it's a bunch of women clumped up. Stink eye, laugh, make fun of me, flirt with my boyfriend, give me the eye. I don't even want to do it. I can't even do it, but just like, you can imagine them just like, with a scowl on their face of disapproval. And if I hear disapproval or see it, if my partner doesn't sound like he's interested in my crafting, like I was sewing the other day, yesterday. I've been sewing this since June, I don't even know. Hopefully I'm almost done. Basically, I'm trying to salvage my clothes. So you've seen me wear this. I don't know what the tie-dye one is. I'm missing like some clothing. So something's telling me to go through this, finish putting together this thing, this stand, computer stand, and then I should have started some laundry. I could probably do that. I don't want to. I'm so tired. I'm just going to get my tea and chill for a minute. If I have to do laundry, I will do it in the bathtub with the washboard. Because I'm wanting my tea. I'm wanting a banana. I got a tiny bit of nut butter. It's like, no more noodles, no more nut butter, no more nuts. You're just going to have to use supplements. I don't know. What kind of protein powder could I get? Maybe I could just, I was supposed to swap to seeds, flax seeds and pumpkin seeds. And no more salt, pumpkin. And no more Bragg. I use Bragg products. I get cranky if I don't have them in the morning. Or at least by early, like brunch time. So I need to redo my diet, redo my fitness plan. My weight, I used to weigh in every day, and now I'm not. And I'm pretty scared about my weight. I have some days that I won't be traveling since I did so much last week. I try to take it easy. I have no customers for my clinic, and I'm just like, uh-oh, that could be the end of my clinic. I better start doing loan signing. But until I get all my work done and my admin stuff, I pretty much won't be doing loan signing. So water, if I'm close to home, water. I have the other detox type stuff. It's just warm. Just get it done, guys. If your busyness today is that you need a respite, if you, oof, my hair just snaps. If you need a respite, sabbatical, rain day, crafting day, a bunch of artists doing stuff. I have my art. I think I showed you a little bit of that. I should do art today. I should put that dress on and do art. Sometimes I put my clothes on inside out. I'll let you know later if I do art today. I have a whole set of acrylics that my boyfriend got me for Christmas that I forgot because he got it before Christmas, that I need to use every color, and I hope it's higher quality paint. That was hard to paint because the quality of the paint was poor. That makes a difference, guys. If you can save up and get good quality items, products, vehicles, houses. I understand, like me, you got to do stuff on a budget because you're paid less than the people in your field because of whatever circumstances. Most people in the whole world are paid more, at least for their per capita income. According to their dollar, I'm pretty low on that thing. But yeah, it can be a waste of money to get low quality stuff. But if it's food and toilet paper and female products and medicines, sometimes you have to get it or have none. Or like they say, old people had to choose between food and medicine. And then they end up saying, I need the medicine to stay alive. And that people used to talk about cat food, but I think cat food is really expensive. Everything is expensive. So blessings, everybody. Put in the comments if any comments make you feel crazy, knowing what people are thinking, knowing what people said to you. The comments are one thing, the looks are another, because I could be speculating wrong or misjudging somebody, but watching somebody look at 15 other people with a smile on their face, and as soon as they get to me, and I'm expecting a smile, that happens at grocery stores. I'll be in line, 6 other people, and they say, hi, good evening, how's your day been, da-da-da-da-da. And when they get to me, they're like, they don't even say hi. They start throwing my stuff. Like, those are eggs. You're throwing my kids' food around. And then this happened to me so many years in a row when I was a single mom. I end up saying, oh, well, you have a good day now. Goodbye. Have a good day. And then the next person behind me, they say, good evening. How are you doing? I was like, they just went through 10 people, and I'm the only black person, and they were rude to me. Or maybe they had something on their mind. But I try not to. And definitely hurts my feelings, and it does indefinitely. I have not put it out of my mind, but I try to smile and do the next right thing and treat them how I wanted to be treated.